Listen to me. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants success. Everybody talks about greatness, but very few people are actually willing to pay the price it demands. You say you want success, but you hit snooze every morning. You say you want to be wealthy, but you won't even invest 10 minutes into your own growth. You say you want to change your life, but you're still hanging around the same people, doing the same things, thinking the same weak thoughts. Let me tell you something real. You don't get what you wish for in this life. You get what you work for. You get what you fight for. You get what you bleed for. When I say, you don't want it bad enough, I'm not attacking you. I'm reminding you that success doesn't come to those who kinda want it. It comes to those who wake up every day obsessed with it. Obsessed with being better. Obsessed with growth. Obsessed with purpose. You think Michael Jordan just loved basketball? No, he lived it. He breathed it. While others slept, he was in the gym. While others talked, he was building something the world would never forget. That's what separates legends from the crowd. They didn't just want it, they needed it. It was oxygen to them. And that's the problem with most people today. They want success the way a child wants a toy. They want it only when it's convenient. They want it when it's easy. But when life hits them, when it gets hard, when it hurts, when nobody's clapping anymore, they fold. Because deep down, they don't want it bad enough to keep going through the pain. You say you're tired, good. You say you're frustrated, good. That's the price of growth. That's the sound of your old self breaking apart. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're rewriting your story. Every time you get up when your body says stay down, you're separating yourself from the 99%. You don't grow when it's easy. You grow when it's heavy. When life throws weight on your shoulders and you decide, I'm still standing. Look at Thomas Edison. That man failed over 1,000 times trying to create the light bulb. 1,000 failures, and he still said, I didn't fail, I found 1,000 ways that didn't work. Why? Because he wanted it bad enough. Because his purpose was bigger than his pain. And that's the truth most people don't want to face. They say they want success, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with it. They want greatness, but not the grind. They want the spotlight, but not the struggle. You can't skip steps. You can't cheat the process. You can't half commit and expect full rewards. Every dream you've ever had has a cost attached to it. And the question is, are you willing to pay it? You say you want to change your life, then change it. Stop waiting for motivation to show up. Stop praying for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. There's only this one, the one you're wasting right now thinking about how hard it's going to be. Listen, life doesn't owe you anything. It's not going to hand you your dreams wrapped in gold. You've got to get out there and take what's yours. You've got to be willing to look stupid. You've got to be willing to fail in public. You've got to be willing to look like the underdog, and still fight like you've already won. Because that's how winners are built. Not in comfort, not in praise, but in pain. In silence. In those long, lonely nights when no one's watching and no one cares. That's where champions are made. So stop saying, I can't. Stop saying, it's hard. Stop saying, I'll start tomorrow. Every time you say that, you're feeding the weakness that's keeping you average. You're keeping yourself from the version of you that could change the game forever. You've got to make a decision right here, right now, that you're done living small, done playing safe, done chasing comfort, because comfort is the killer of greatness. And you can't live a fearless, fulfilled life if you're constantly running from the fire that's meant to forge you. The pain you're avoiding is the very path to the power you're praying for. And until you face that, you'll keep wondering why your life feels stuck. It's not that you can't win, it's that you don't want it bad enough yet. You say you want to live your dream, but let me ask you something. What are you willing to lose for it? Because you can't hold on to everything and still rise. You can't cling to comfort, excuses, and distractions, and expect to fly. If you want to go to the next level, you've got to shed the weight that's holding you down. You say, I want freedom, but freedom costs discipline. Freedom costs early mornings, long nights, and sacrifices nobody sees. You say, I want success, but success demands that you outwork everyone in the room, even when no one gives you credit. See, people think discipline is punishment. It's not. Discipline is the pathway to peace. When you do the work you said you'd do, even when you don't feel like it, that's where real self-respect is built. You stop doubting yourself when your actions finally match your words. Everybody wants confidence. But confidence doesn't come from motivation. It comes from repetition. From doing it over and over until you've earned the right to believe in yourself. You think Kobe Bryant felt motivated every morning at 4 a.m. No. He felt purpose. He knew that while the rest of the world slept, he was sharpening his sword. He was closing the gap between where he was and where he said he'd be. And that's what discipline is. It's not about feeling good, it's about getting better. You can't build a dream on emotion. Emotion fades. Discipline lasts. Emotion says, I'll do it when I feel ready. Discipline says, I'll do it because I said I would. You've got to get to a place where you stop negotiating with your weakness. Stop asking your feelings for permission to move. You've got to decide, I'm the kind of person who finishes. I'm the kind of person who shows up when others don't. Because once that identity locks in, the excuses die on impact. Listen to me, there's a version of you right now that the world hasn't met yet. A version buried under fear, laziness, and doubt. But that version is waiting for one thing. For you to want it bad enough to dig it out. Every great story has a breaking point. That moment when the hero hits rock bottom and still refuses to quit. That's when transformation happens. When everything in you says I can't, but something deeper whispers, try again. That's when you meet the real you. The fighter, the believer, the relentless soul that refuses to die quietly. Thomas Jefferson said, nothing can stop the man who will not stop himself. And that's it. It's not about talent, it's not about luck, it's about refusal. Refusal to stay down. Refusal to accept average. Refusal to live without purpose. When the world says, it's over, you've got to say, watch me. When the voice in your head says, you're not enough, you've got to say, I'm just getting started. That's how you rewrite the story. You think greatness is complicated, it's not. It's consistency, multiplied by time, fueled by belief. That's it. One brick, one day, one decision at a time. That's how empires are built. Ford didn't build his empire overnight. He failed. He went broke. People laughed at his vision. But while they were laughing, he was learning. He was improving. He was willing to look foolish in the short term to create something timeless. And that's what most people can't handle. They want approval more than achievement. They want to look successful more than they want to be successful. Let me be clear. You can't impress people and improve yourself at the same time. You've got to pick one. Either you chase validation or you chase greatness. But you can't do both. So stop asking for applause. Stop needing everyone to understand your grind. They want tea because they don't want it like you do. You're not supposed to fit in. You're supposed to stand out. You're supposed to walk differently, talk differently, move differently. That's the price of destiny. And yeah, it's lonely. Yeah, it's hard. But that's what separates the winners from the watchers. The watchers complain about how heavy the crown is. The winners wear it anyway. So the next time life knocks you down, don't cry about it. Don't post about it. Get up, go again. And remember, the struggle you're in today is developing the strength you'll need tomorrow. You can't skip that. You can't rush that. Because if you do, you'll never have the foundation to hold the blessing you're asking for. And when that moment comes, when the reward finally arrives, you'll know it was worth every sleepless night, every doubt, every scar. Because you'll know you earned it, not just wanted it but fought for it. You ever notice how people talk big when the spotlight's on them? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna make it happen this year. But when the lights go off, when nobody's watching, silence. Because talk doesn't build dreams. Action does. The truth is, you don't rise to the level of your words, you fall to the level of your habits. And most people's habits don't match their vision. They dream like lions and work like kittens. They say they want to build an empire, but they can't even master a morning routine. Listen, vision without execution is just hallucination. You can have all the plans, all the affirmations, all the vision boards, but if you don't move, none of it matters. Faith without works is dead, and belief without action is fantasy. You say you're waiting for the right time. Let me tell you, there is no right time. There is only now. Every second you wait, your dream gets a little further away. The longer you hesitate, the louder your fear becomes. And fear feeds on your hesitation. You give it power every time you delay. So stop waiting for motivation to show up. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. And purpose is the oxygen that keeps it alive. When you know why you're doing it, you can survive almost anyhow. When you've got purpose, rejection doesn't crush you, it refines you. Failure doesn't stop you, it strengthens you. Because purpose gives pain meaning. It turns obstacles into training grounds. It turns pressure into preparation. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. Thomas Edison was told by his teachers he was too stupid to learn anything. Oprah Winfrey was told she wasn't fit for television. But they all had one thing in common: they wanted it bad enough. They were willing to look foolish, to fail publicly, to risk everything for something only they could see. That's what vision is. It's seeing what doesn't exist yet, and believing in it so fiercely that the world eventually catches up. You've got to hold your vision like your life depends on it, because it does. That dream you have isn't random. It's not an accident. It's a glimpse of what you were created to become. And if you ignore it, you don't just lose the dream, you lose yourself. Don't let comfort kill your calling. Don't let doubt talk you out of your destiny. The world doesn't need another copy, it needs your originality. Your gift. Your fire. Some of you are waiting for permission to go all in. Waiting for someone to say, "You're ready. Let me free you right now." Nobody's coming. There's no validation coming. No perfect opportunity. No easy start. You've got to declare yourself ready. You've got to anoint yourself chosen. You've got to look in the mirror and say, "I don't care what they think. I don't care what they say. I was built for this." That's how warriors are made. That's how legacies are born, not through comfort, not through approval, but through conviction. See, when you move with conviction, the universe responds differently. Doors open. Resources appear. People show up out of nowhere. Because energy attracts energy. When you move like it's already yours, you become magnetic. But if you move like maybe, if you move like you're unsure, the world will reflect that uncertainty right back to you. You get what you are, not what you wish for. So stop acting like you've got forever. You don't. Life is short, and the clock is ticking. You're running out of some days. You're running out of next years. All you've got is now. And right now, you have two choices. You can keep dreaming about the life you want, or you can start building it. Pain will come either way. But you've got to decide which kind of pain you're willing to live with. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Because one will make you stronger, and the other will haunt you forever. You've got to want it so bad that giving up doesn't even feel like an option anymore. You've got to be obsessed. Obsessed with your growth. Obsessed with your future. Obsessed with becoming everything you were created to be. And understand this: success doesn't come when you get what you want. It comes when you become who you need to be to handle what you want. That's the transformation. That's the evolution. You think you're chasing money, but what you're really chasing is mastery. You think you want freedom, but what you're really craving is alignment. That feeling of finally becoming the person you were meant to be. So build that person, brick by brick, failure by failure, day by day. And don't stop until your reflection matches your vision. Because the truth is, the dream doesn't belong to the talented. It belongs to the relentless. You ever notice how people disappear when things get hard? The moment the storm hits, the excuses start. It's not the right time. I just need to rest for a bit. I'll start again when things calm down. But let me tell you something: there is no calm season for greatness. The ones who make it don't wait for peace. They build in chaos. Resilience isn't about avoiding the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Every champion you admire, every name written in history, they all have one thing in common: they kept going when it made no sense to. They didn't let failure define them, they let it refine them. Thomas Edison didn't fail 1,000 times. He discovered 1,000 ways that didn't work. Abraham Lincoln lost election after election before becoming one of the greatest presidents in American history. Michael Jordan didn't make his high school varsity team. He turned that rejection into fuel. Every time the world said, "You can't," they answered, "Watch me." And that's the attitude you need. You've got to stop negotiating with your dream. Stop giving yourself backup plans, because every time you give yourself an out, you teach your mind it's okay to quit. You've got to burn the boats. You've got to make your dream the only option. You say you want success. Then prove it when you're tired, when you're broke, when nothing is going your way. That's when character is built. That's when faith is tested. When everything in you wants to stop, but something deeper says, no, keep moving. Let me ask you, how bad do you really want it? Because if you only want it when it's easy, you don't want it bad enough. If you only grind when it feels good, you don't want it bad enough. If you need people to clap for you just to keep going, you don't want it bad enough. The greats, they worked in silence. They didn't need validation. They didn't need the world to believe in them, because they already believed in themselves. See, resilience is the art of bouncing back, but the real mastery is never leaving the fight. Even when you're knocked down, you're still dangerous if you refuse to quit. You can lose momentum, lose people, lose resources, but don't you dare lose your fire. You've got to become unbreakable in spirit. You can bend, but you won't break. You can cry, but you won't quit. You can doubt for a moment, but deep down, you know you're built for more. The universe rewards the stubborn heart, the one that refuses to die quietly, the one that looks at adversity and says, you picked the wrong one to mess with, and that's the energy you've got to carry. When life pushes you, push back harder. When the weight feels too heavy, remind yourself this pressure is producing diamonds. Every setback is setting you up for strength. Every detour is redirecting you to destiny. But you can't see that if you quit halfway. You can't experience the reward of the process. If you're always running from the pain of progress, the pain you're feeling right now, that's proof you're growing. That's the stretching of your potential. That's your old self breaking to make room for the new one. So don't run from it, embrace it. Because the people who avoid pain also avoid growth. And listen, you don't get to choose when the breakthrough happens. You don't get to decide when the door opens. But you do get to decide whether you're still standing when it does. You do get to decide whether you're ready when opportunity finally knocks. That's what separates the almost successful from the truly unstoppable. The almost make excuses, the unstoppable make adjustments. You can either be the victim or the victor. But you can't be both. You can either keep complaining about what didn't happen, or you can start creating what will happen. And the truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Not your parents, not your friends, not your boss. You are the hero of your story. You are the rescue you've been waiting for. So start showing up for yourself like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every morning you wake up is another chance to write the story the world will remember you by. The pages are blank. The pen is in your hand. And the ink is your action. Don't let fear hold the pen. Don't let doubt write your ending. You've got to author your destiny with courage. Even if your hands shake. Even if your voice trembles. Even if no one else believes. You keep writing. You keep fighting. You keep showing up until your signature is carved into history. Because that's what greatness demands. Not perfection. Not comfort. Just persistence. There comes a moment, a breaking point, when you've got nothing left to give. When the dream feels too far. The climb feels too steep. And your mind whispers, maybe it's not meant to be. That's the crossroad where most people turn back. But not you. Not anymore. Because that's the moment the old you dies and the real you is born. You see, there's something powerful that happens when you hit rock bottom. You stop pretending. You stop performing. You stop living for likes, for validation, for applause. And you start fighting for purpose. You stop chasing what looks good, and you start chasing what feels right. You start realizing that success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about proving your potential right. It's about becoming the person you were destined to be, not the version people told you to settle for. When you get to that point, when you finally say, I'm done talking, I'm done waiting, I'm done wishing, I'm ready to become, the universe starts moving differently for you. Doors you never noticed begin to open. People you've never met start showing up. And every no you faced becomes part of the story that makes your yes so powerful. Because hear me, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you fight for. And some of you haven't been fighting. You've been interested, not committed. You've been curious, not obsessed. There's a difference between wanting success and being willing to do whatever it takes to have it. Most people pray for the blessing but reject the burden that comes with it. They want the promise, but not the process. They want the light, but not the fire that forges it. But that's not how greatness is built. Greatness is forged in sweat and sacrifice. In long nights and lonely mornings. It's built in the silence when nobody claps, nobody texts, nobody notices. When all you have left is faith. And that's where your real power lies. In your faith when the results aren't there yet. Faith when the vision still looks impossible. Faith when all you've got is the belief that this pain has a purpose. Faith is saying, I don't see it yet, but I know it's coming, and I'm not leaving until it does. That's the mindset that moves mountains. That's the energy that makes miracles happen. Not because life suddenly gets easy, but because you stop running from hard. You embrace the grind. You welcome the pressure. You become unstoppable. Remember this, the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire, the tallest trees grow from the deepest roots, and the greatest humans are built through the heaviest trials. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. You're being shaped, refined, tested, so when your moment comes, you're ready. Not lucky. Ready. And that moment will come, but only if you stay in the fight. Only if you stop negotiating with your dream and start declaring your destiny. You were not born to be average. You were not created to settle. You were not designed to fit in. You were made to stand out, to lead, to build, to inspire. But to do that you've got to want it bad enough. Bad enough to lose sleep. Bad enough to outwork, outlast, and outbelieve everyone around you. Bad enough to look in the mirror and admit that your excuses are lying to you. Bad enough to burn every bridge that leads back to comfort. Bad enough to wake up every morning and say, today, I fight again. Because success doesn't belong to the gifted. It belongs to the gritty. The ones who show up after they fail. The ones who rise when they're tired. The ones who keep going when everyone else stops. So hear me if you want it. Fight for it. If you believe it, build it. If you dream it, chase it until the dream looks small compared to the reality you create. And don't just talk about being hungry, stay hungry. Because hunger keeps you humble. Hunger keeps you driven. Hunger keeps you alive when the world goes quiet. When you wake up tomorrow, don't just chase success. Chase greatness. Don't just survive, dominate. Don't just exist, become unstoppable. And when it gets hard, because it will, remember this moment. Remember this message. Remember who you are. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are becoming. You've got greatness in your bones, fire in your spirit, and purpose in your soul. Now go prove it. Go fight for it. Go earn it. Because in the end, you don't become what you wish for. You don't become what you dream of. You become what you fight for.